Today we're talking with Amir Khalil from FOUR PAWS. We're going to talk about the lions that made headlines in January. There were 2 lions at a zoo in Sudan, in the capital, in Khartoum. And they were extremely skinny. Amir went there in that time at the end of January with his team to help those. And what did you see when you got there?
Sure, it was shocking pictures. I mean, the reality was more hard than the picture. To see the lion's Kandaka, which looked like skeleton. The other lion, which was Mansour, really in very bad condition. The first impression, sure, the animal have no opportunity. The surviving chance was less than, I would say, over 95%. This animal cannot make it because we arrived late. 2 days before our arrival, 1 lion passed away when they tried to transport it to a clinic. Yeah, but somehow when I watch in the eye of Kandaka, I observe also she is a fighter. And somehow I get I will see in translation from here, she will fight. And I think this gives us the opportunity, the team and myself, to interfere in manual. I mean, I approached the line with my hand. She was not able to move.
And this is the woman, right?
Hello?
The one we're seeing now, this is the woman.
This is Kandaka, a female lioness. Kandaka means the queen of Nubian. So really, it is a strong name in Sudan. It's like a symbol for the lady who fight for Sudan at this time. I mean, some 100 years ago. And really, it was very sad to see the king of the jungle or the king of the lions in this such situation. And at this time, it was not important who creates this. It was important how to improve as soon as possible and to try the best to save the life of this animal.
And we're now 2 months further to February, March, April, 3 months further, almost 4. How are the lions? They're still alive, both of the lions.
Mansour and the Kandaka sure health condition improved so much. I mean, it's not only the feeding. In fact, we give the animal a lot of medication, which was needed, medicine. Also, food supplement like mineral and vitamins we import from Holland. They needed vaccination. We done also examination for the animal, so the animal improve their condition much more. We done some enrichment for the lions, like especially for Kandaka, how to use her hind legs or hind limbs. So I think the team and the volunteer done a lot of effort. Sadly, Kandaka, when we make further examination for the eye, we find that Kandaka have glaucoma in her eye, both eyes, developed, which means she cannot see probably. This means the animal really need a long-term solution. Mansour health condition, the male lion is improved much more, but I will say now the survival chance of the 2 lions now is over 95%. Before it was really less, it was about, I will say 5%, 10% survival chance. Now they are over 95%. And I think we are happy now to look for a long-term solution. Sadly, due to the current situation on a global level with Corona and with COVID, the negotiation with the government stopped due to the situation in Sudan, emergency situation. And as soon as we are able to fly there, we will take over the negotiation again and to find together a long-term solution for these animals.
Yeah, because at the moment they're staying, this is a zoo.
Yes.
And it's a very small place for them because, I hear echo. There were also hyenas there.
There is 2 hyena. It was some reptiles, and I mean turtles and reptiles and some birds. The turtles is a wildlife department or the government authority took the animal and replaced them in other center, which is qualified to care for the turtles. The hyena are doing much better. The birds also are in a better condition, but the cages condition is not appropriate for this animal. This animal need to touch grass, need to have the sky above them, and this is what we are fighting for and looking for, that this animal move to a species appropriate place.
Yeah, and so I remember in January you said you were busy to get them to either make the zoo more appropriate for the animals or get them to a sanctuary.
The zoo, at first, we done sure a lot of enrichment. We improve the condition inside the cage. We bought like trunk for trees and the animal. It's our cats. They need to climb. We hide the food in special cartons. Like the animal have to look for the meat inside. We give different type of food. So the enrichment inside the enclosure or inside the cages of the animal, we improve sure, and the volunteers are caring for the animal. But the required space should be much bigger than the zoo. The cages are tiny for the zoo. And this place is a conflict place. So it's not really appropriate place for the animal long term at all. For the moment, we consider it is a temporary place till the condition of the animal improved. And we hope with the approval of the government that this animal can move to a better place.
And if your team is now not there anymore, who's taking care of the animals now?
Maybe the international team and myself are not on site due to the current situation, but sure we have local Sudanese volunteers. 3 volunteers currently are working as volunteer for FOUR PAWS and taking care for the animal, besides the staff from the wildlife department.
Okay, so and when will your team go back there?
I'm looking forward. If I have the opportunity to fly today, sure I will fly. I'm looking forward to see this animal. Currently, it is due to the pandemic. The airport of Khartoum is closed. There is no international flights. So we hope end of the month, beginning of the coming months, that international flight might be able again to be there, and we will be there immediately. Sure.
And I remember in January, one of the hyenas was pregnant. Has she
Animal,
given?
yes. The female hyena was pregnant. She gave birth for 2 young cubs. But sadly, as animal born in captivity don't have the proper conditions, these 2 animals pass away few days after the birth, and this is a normal behavior when animal in a small cages like this with the hyena. Normally, the mom want to protect her kids. Sometimes she eats them or she ignores them and they pass away. So this animal, it's very sadly don't have survival chance in such small cages.
Okay, because the mom eats them, or they just don't.
She don't eat them, but she neglects them. She ignores them.
Okay.
She don't give the proper colostrum for them in the first days. And sure, this is proof once more that the condition in El Korashi Zoo is not appropriate for this animal to keep them.
And
You
is
cannot
the are the people at the zoo, are they when the hyena babies died, like do they also agree with you that their zoo is not appropriate for their animals?
Sure. I mean, the staff of FOUR PAWS are, or as a volunteer for FOUR PAWS, are aware about this. I was concerned about the situation because when we examine the animal, we find that the hyena is pregnant, which is a good news. But on the other hand, with our experience in such small, tiny cages at the zoo, the survival chance is very low. It's
Yeah.
very, very rarely that they survive. But also the wildlife department is aware about the situation. And this, we hope that this proves to them that a long-term solution is needed for this animal. And sadly, due to the last months with Corona, the negotiation stopped and the communication stopped, as sure they are busy with more other, I would say, priorities for them.
Yeah, that is so. But are you worried about the animals now, like because you don't know when you can get there again? Does it stress you?
The situation is really sad for everyone. I mean, for the team and me personally, we prefer to work on the field, to be on the site directly, to have the first aid immediately on site, and also to find the long-term solution for the animal. Because
Yeah.
now the animal are in a better condition, but the appropriate, it's not a condition to keep the animal lifelong in a prison like this. So it's not really a problem. So I wish really that this pandemic situation will go away from all the world, not only from Sudan.
Yeah, of
And
course.
with the first opportunity, I will fly to Sudan with the team and to take the needed steps to, or the possible needed steps, and to look for a solution together with the authorities in Sudan.
And is this a pandemic also, because you already mentioned it, is it also interfering with other work? FOUR PAWS works in Sudan, but also in other places. Is it interfering with your work?
Sure. I mean, starting from the headquarter, we had everyone quarantine, or we are not allowed to go to the office, so we work home office. We get a lot of requests from many places worldwide where really animals suffer, also in zoos. People cannot feed them, starting from Thailand, many places in Asia. Sure, the sanctuaries which FOUR PAWS running were close to the visitor. Security and safety come first for the animal, for the staff, and for the visitor. So we hope during this month, this regulation, government regulation, will be lifted slowly. We started now in Austria, middle of June. I think it's announced that it's possible to fly within Europe, and we hope by end of June situation might be better. Today I was at the office, so luckily I was able to see some of my colleagues, and
Yeah.
I hope within the coming weeks situation might be better.
Okay.
So,
Thank you for your time, and I hope next time I talk to you, you'll be in Sudan, and we'll do this from the zoo in Sudan, if that's possible.
thank you so much for the opportunity and for your care.